A very warm welcome to IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13 powered by Tata Teleservices. I'm Ritwika Gupta coming to you straight from Pride Plaza Hotel in Ahmedabad, bringing you highlights from our recently concluded Ahmedabad Springboard. Now, Ahmedabad is steadily evolving from a traditional industrial hub into an emerging financial and innovation center. To highlight how the region is positioning itself as a key driver in India's financial ecosystem, we first have a keynote presentation by Ajeet Kumar, Zonal Head West, IDFC FIRST Bank, and in the second segment, a fireside chat lined up with Mridul Chandra, CHRO, Tata Teleservices.
When one thinks about Ahmedabad, the mind naturally wanders to its rich culture, diverse heritage, stunning textiles, and of course, mouth-watering food. But there's a lot more to this city than what the eye can see. Ahmedabad is a naturally rising economic powerhouse that is all set to make strides. It is the second highest contributor to Gujarat's GDP and also an investor's hub. Last year, when the markets were all tumultuous, Ahmedabad became the second highest contributor to India's mutual fund AUM growth. Well, the story of economy in Ahmedabad is incomplete without mentioning the Gift City. Gift City, an ambitious project that is likely to generate more than 1.5 lakh million jobs, is transforming the entire trajectory of India's growth story. However, there's much more to Ahmedabad beyond just Gift City. The real question is, what is fueling this diversity? What is making Ahmedabad a financial nerve center for India? Ahmedabad is rapidly evolving from a traditional industrial stronghold into a growing financial and innovation hub, creating new pathways for enterprises to scale. When it comes to the businesses and industries of Ahmedabad, which do you think are some booming sectors?
Again, I am coming to hospitality industry. फूड की जो इंडस्ट्री है यहाँ पे आप अगर किसी को स्टार्ट करना है तो बहुत अच्छी जगह है. Then if you want to start off your own fashion brand, then this is also a good place to start.
In good juice business is in the blood, and I think currently Gift City Gandhinagar is booming very well, and the industry like textiles or the upcoming IT industry, when mostly the foreign companies are here to invest in Gandhinagar Gift City, and it's like fabulous.
Now, what's the one thing that you would want to change about the city?
There are little things like vendors which are not behaving properly. They are doing such irregular things which are not acceptable. That should be changed according to me.
थोड़ा ट्रैफिक इशू है जिसकी वजह से आने जाने में काफ़ी दिक्कत होती है, जो कि अभी काम चालू है इसलिए अभी टेम्परेरी दिक्कत हो रही है, बाकी वो स्मूथ हो जाएगा.
Ahmedabad's business ecosystem is enabling enterprises to innovate and shape the state's economic trajectory.
It's our privilege to be associated with this beautiful franchise which we have developed in the form of ET Now and the Leaders of Tomorrow. So I have seen this city growing from just being a textile hub to become now a talk of the town Gift City. So I think I'll quickly take you through the some features, some insight about the state of Gujarat and obviously Ahmedabad. I think we have largely been knowing Ahmedabad as a place where it was very famous for industrial manufacturing, and which were largely related to chemical dyes, garments, textile. Now with this recent addition of Gift City, it has given an opportunity for people to get offshore funding and obviously managing some risks. And also the investment options are open for us. It's creating waves all across the country, and now all the institutions all across the world are placing their bet on Gift City. Chemical and petrochemicals, as we all know, these are the old economies, old pillars of Gujarat and obviously Ahmedabad, taking care of, and our producers are helping all across the country for industries like chemicals and dyes. Industrial infra, I think Gujarat has always been very, very welcoming if you want to expand your footprints in the manufacturing sector, and Gujarat has been very, very supportive, and it's a conducive setup all over, since we have the beautiful governance happening in this state. Textile, we all know, once known as the Manchester of the East, and one of the highest producers of denim and other fabric. Probably Gujarat 6% total industrial production comes from textile industry. If you see that you cannot be completing Gujarat without gems and jewelries, I think Surat being the center point uh, for those sectors, it is the second largest producer of gold jewelry with 85% share of national jewelry production. If you talk about MSMEs, apart from the four challenges which most of them are facing, because the leaders of the tomorrow, this entire franchise were developed to address and probably assist the MSME segment. Apart from the other three, I'm sure since we represent bank and what we understand is that finding finances and probably the access to the finance and probably the credit is still one of the biggest problem. It is estimated that around 20 to 30 lakh crore of credit demand is unmet because of the challenges the MSME faces in terms of their vintage. Other three parameters, like they will largely be focusing in setting up their units, probably finding buyers. So they will be slightly slow on the digital and tech modernization, which may take little time longer for them. Skill gaps, obviously, if you are venturing into a sector which is largely not supporting you on quality and readily available skills, you have to set more money towards that. This is one of the challenges for MSMEs also. And towards the end, obviously, the fourth parameter obviously is the global vulnerable situation which we currently are facing all across. So I think this is one of the big challenges today MSMEs are facing, where lots of external factors are probably giving them some headwinds towards their consistent growth. We have a couple of testimonials from the client side who would have associated with IDFC First Bank, how they address their situations largely related to financing. So we have Mr. Tushar Begaria. He represents a unit here in Ahmedabad only. So obviously he was into cement sector and going through some transition towards building up, getting into a private limited firm from a proprietary firm. He had some headwinds in terms of finding finances, setting footprints. After partnering with IDFC First Bank, you can see some of the matrices down the slide, where you can see that all the key parameters of the health of the company started improving. We have another customer, Mr. Philip Stephen Balaram. He is largely into a very niche market of industrial machineries, and largely involved into imports and all. So he was obviously struggling with raising bank guarantees for some of his large supplier. And after partnering with IDFC First Bank, he got some credit line with us, non-fund fund, and that obviously helped him maneuver with all whatever challenges he was struggling through. Something to talk about IDFC First Bank. Yes, we are seen as one of the fintech banks. Great disruption as far as this sector is concerned and this space is concerned, and largely driven through technology. All the propositions which we offer to a MSME or an individual or anybody, whether it is an NRI, whether he is a large corporate, whether he is an individual or a salaried, anybody else, will help them do their banking seamlessly with the help of IDFC First Bank. Whether it is retail lending solutions, their access to the semi lending, normal liability, which is CASA and fixed deposits. All of you know that we give away very handsome and competitive rates on fixed deposit and savings account. In fact, among the best in the market. We have a great range of credit cards available to us, beautiful features all across, and other parameters. Fast-tag, you would have seen us present at all the key highways and kind of one of the biggest players in the fast-tag industry. Trade finances for the corporate, mid-size, MSME, we give access to all of them. Typically, MSMEs in their life cycle would need help towards deposit and lending solutions. Typically, the two arms of the bankings. So whether it is a current account, normal current account for any businessman like you, collection management, payment solutions, trade and forex solutions, structured solutions, corporate salary accounts for your salaries, employees, fast track for fleet, fire shop insurances. On the lending side, we have the complete range of products, starting from the unsecured lending towards secured LAP, professional loan, education loan, working capital loan, for exporters, packing credit, bank guarantees, letter of credit, everything. The entire range is available Everything is in-house, inbuilt, available in Gujarat. We have tied up with 100 partners to take care of some of the other business requirements like your legal services, your taxation services, your other accounting services. You once you bank with us, we give access to these fintechs who will give you these services with subsidized costs. We were in fact one of the primary banks chosen by RBI to test CBDC, your digital currencies, and you have a sticker-based debit card available, which you can affix behind your mobile, and and it will act as a debit card for you. And since we're talking about MSMEs, we have a range of facilities available for our startups, early stage startups, growth stage startups. Whether it is startup current account, we have a branded startup current account which takes care of the costing and probably don't put much burden on the customer to maintain balances and things like that. We have a no lien current account, very 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 unique feature. Beyond banking support, I told you about, we have partnered with 100 fintech partners who can probably help the startup stand on their feet, not probably running around different partners to take care of their different needs. Credit card for them, again, Bravo feature available for them. Growth stage startups, probably slightly bigger startup probably who would have gone beyond bootstrap. So they have access to working capital. We lend them. Founder solutions, we run different programs for the founders especially. So this is largely to summarize with IDFC First Bank offerings. Thank you very much.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13, powered by Tata Telebusiness Services. You're watching highlights from our recently concluded Ahmedabad Springboard. Now, to decode how leaders can build strong culture in a digital hybrid world, how HR and technology can power talent and growth, I'll now be in conversation with Mridul Chandra, CHRO, Tata Teleservices. Culture is something that is rightfully the real competitive advantage, as we call it. But I want to know from you, and I want to start this conversation by asking you to really define what is a strong culture and how can leaders consciously shape it?
Thank you for that question. Good evening, everyone. See, in India, MSMEs contribute about 30% to GDP and likely to grow to about 35 to 40%. MSMEs also engage about 60% of the total workforce in India, which means millions of people will be connecting virtually and digitally, but working remotely and dispersed through the length and breadth of the country. In this context, culture almost becomes a virtual ecosystem, right? In a hybrid world, culture is not built through physical proximity. It is actually built by consistency of behavior and clarity of purpose. A strong culture would mean that employees already know what the organization stands for, how decisions are made, and what good looks like. So essentially, the culture is built by leaders by translating the values into behaviors and ensuring that employees have that kind of experience all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. We are living in the post-digital hybrid world. We're not meeting everybody every day. So definitely translates a lot into virtual interactions. But AI, digitization, they are impacting sectors across the board. And it is also reshaping a lot of roles across organizations. What do you think we need to do to attract, how can properly, HR and technology work together to not just attract the right talent, but also engage them and also help them grow and become more productive?
Technology in HR has existed for a very long time, but, it was initially about payroll, attendance management, and maybe basic HRMS, which now I think has evolved to look at defining world-class employee experiences. So HR and technology today work together to design end-to-end employee experiences, not just managing processes. So let me take a few examples from there. So at TTBS, we have actually deployed a very robust technology platform that underpins our learning strategy, including tools like LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, Skillsoft, which are complemented by our internal LMS. We also promote innovation through experience and learning into emerging technologies like generative AI. Um, the whole concept is about encouraging employees to go and experiment in a controlled environment. We have deployed a tool called Amber, which is an AI-powered engagement chatbot, which actually works like a chief learning officer in the organization. What it really does is it encourages employee to share in-depth feedback on a confidential basis through the chatbot. When technology actually enables routine works to be streamlined, it frees up time for HR to prioritize strategic work, which is around, say, leadership development or culture building, or maybe capability building for the future.
Right. And as AI and digitization, impact our lives on a daily basis, tell me what advice would you have for MSMEs, in terms of the skills and capabilities they should start building today in order to stay future ready?
See, MSMEs, if they have to be future ready, there are many areas that are very critical, including digital fluency, data expertise, and problem solving skills, which should be built at scale in the organization. We are not expecting employees to be technology experts. What is required is they should be comfortable using digital tools. But very importantly, we sometimes in the race for technology sideline the soft skill, which is also critical. Soft skill like adaptability, collaboration, communication, and also emotional intelligence. Especially MSMEs should focus on skills which are largely around data analytics and digital fluency, which are very critical from labor.
Mridul, you spoke about a few use cases a while back, but I want to ask you again, are there some practical use cases in terms of how workflow can be simplified, in terms of maybe improving ease of doing business as well for MSMEs?
Okay, so I think the most valuable use cases are those that quietly remove friction from regular work. You would look at resume screening and skill-based shortlisting, which can shrink your hiring cycle time. You can look at maybe a chatbot that responds to like queries. The whole point is how you can simplify using AI work that is routine, and they were free up time for managers and employees. Manager can then focus on coaching. Employees can focus on value-added work and something that they're really interested on. Right. So those are the kind of things that's really important.
But where should organizations draw the line? Because AI technology, it's all great, but what aspects of people management should still retain that human quality, regardless of how advanced our technology becomes?
AI is an intelligent enabler for automating your routine, repetitive tasks. However, technology is good at maybe data management, speed, accuracy, and consistency, and so on and so forth. But people practices require different skill, like you need judgment, you need empathy, you need context. So hiring decisions, for example, selection decisions or document promotion, engagement conversation, whether it is about promotion discussions or sharing feedback, these things should always be human-led. In terms of performance management, coaching conversations, or conflict resolutions and stuff like that, AI can always provide input and it can be a decision enabler. But we should never lose human connection. It's very, very critical that any conversation related to promotion discussion or negotiating expectations and so on and so forth is human aligned.
But there's also a fear that AI is going to take up jobs. I mean, while the senior leaders, they are very excited about artificial intelligence, I think among employees that there is a sense of anxiety and, a sense of fear, right? So how can, HR, how can they build trust and, earn trust of employees, to reduce, this fear, in terms of that we need to work with AI and perhaps not compete with AI?
I think most employee anxiety comes from uncertainty. It's not the technology itself. AI, obviously, as I said earlier as well, it works very good with data, with predictive stuff, and it is able to, improve speed and so on and so forth. but it is not supposed to replace human. So the role of HR becomes very critical here. HR is supposed to create clarity, confidence, and capability. The first point of acceptance from HR should be to accept that there is anxiety, but go and create a clear roadmap in terms of how this will be resolved. It's also important to listen empathetically to the employee facing and include them in the transition and transformation process. Inclusion actually builds trust, and trust drive adoption. So that's how the technology adoption should happen.
Absolutely. So if an SME today who's watching the show, if they're about to sign their AI or cloud or automation initiative, what is a safe and people-focused checklist they should keep in mind before moving forward?
Any technology investment, major technology investment, I would say, is a big decision in the organization. So obviously for SME who are looking at making best use of the resources, they should actually pause and think, what problem is that solution going to solve? Is it big enough a problem to be solved? Those are two most important questions. Then they should start looking at, will it genuinely simplify work for the users? We also need to see what skill set the users have, which will make them effective in using the technology. Then there are questions around who owns the adoption. Because many times I've seen technology adoption is left to the IT team, whereas the adoption should be owned by the business leader and HR jointly. Because it's about a transformation journey. Then we also need to identify a sponsor for the change, because it's a big change. Sponsor also declare to employees what's the cross-functional change team, or what are the change champions we have. Create maybe a roadmap for employees to understand when and what is going to happen and who is making those decisions. Technology actually will enable a transformation only when people are ready and accept the change. So it's very important that we invest right in the people who are going to adopt the technology.
Fantastic. And finally, Mridul, we are here in the city of Ahmedabad and we'll be discussing how Ahmedabad is ready to be India's next financial powerhouse. What advice would you have for entrepreneurs, MSMEs, especially Ahmedabad, in terms of how they can truly do big, invest in people, culture, and technology?
I think doing big is not just about expansion. It's about investing in the foundation, building a very strong foundation. So strong culture, strong people, and smart technology actually makes the organization resilient and scalable. Ahmedabad, especially a beautiful city, has great entrepreneurial ambition and energy. For them, the next phase of growth will come by investing in leadership development, continuous learning, and maybe digital technology, adoption of digital technology. So when employees feel valued and your culture feels inclusive and your system feels supportive, the growth is not just very fast, it's scalable, it's sustainable, and it actually is for long term.
Fantastic. Well, Mridul, thank you so much for your time. This was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thank you, Ajeet.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC FIRST Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13, powered by Tata Teleservices. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.